going to take some of this hay that we've got here. This is the plastic stuff. It looks like a lot of water has collected underneath. Alright, so today we are getting hay, and we've been experimenting with several different types of hay from different farmers in the area. And today we're trying out a different kind of hay that is from a farmer that individually wraps their bales in like white plastic. And I'm not sure what to think of it because I can't see the quality of the hay inside, so I don't know the condition of the hay. I want to talk a little bit about what kind of hay to use for your milk cow, because it's something I didn't know. I thought, you know, hay is hay. I had heard of alfalfa, I had heard of timothy and orchard grass, and clover, but I didn't know what they were. And I'm still not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I've learned a lot, and rather than waiting until I'm an expert, I just wanted to share with you all what I've learned so far. I've learned that cows require different types of hay for different seasons of their life. So I've learned that a cow in milk needs to have supplementation. So talking a little bit about the quality of the hay, Ethan, why do you think that Francis's hay is better than Kathy's?
Greener.
Greener?
Yeah. Kathy's is very dark green.
It's a very dark green, yes it is. But hers was second cutting and his is first cutting. So second cutting tends to have more nutrition in it because it's more leaf than it is stem. But his was very, very soft for the cows to eat instead of like sticks. We've gotten hay like that before that had a lot of sticks in it. So we're talking a little bit about supplementation for cows in milk. When a cow is giving so much of their own body's nutrition in their milk, they need to have that replaced. And if you're doing calf sharing like we tend to, the calf is drawing on the mother's body, and then we as people are as well. So it needs to be replenished. And I know a lot of people are very anti-grain, and some cows are fine with being not doing grain. We have Dexters, they don't need grain at all, and they're great. They also don't produce 2 or 3 gallons every day in milk. They're only going to produce maybe a gallon to a gallon and a half. And for my family and our needs, that's not really enough. We are getting more milk than we need, but our goal is to eventually do dairy shares with friends and people at our church and our community. So we need higher producing cows. Those tend to be the Jerseys. And I'm not talking, 6 to 8 gallons every day from one cow. So I'm not talking about a dairy Jersey, just your average little homestead Jersey. What's wrong, Ethan?
Oh, nothing. I just that truck that was out up there too. I just saw it over there.
Oh.
Big red that was going by.
So so what we want to do with our hay is make sure that we're giving back to our cows hay that is as high in nutrition as we possibly can manage. Couple of things. People, I see it all the time on Facebook, all the time. They'll send a picture of their cow, and she looks rather thin, but Jerseys do look thin, especially when they're in milk. They do look very thin. Yep. So they'll give more alfalfa. That's the wrong thing to give. Alfalfa does not put weight on a cow. Carbs, just like people, carbs put weight on a cow. Protein makes good, nutritious milk and will increase milk production. So alfalfa, clover, things like that, high in protein, high in calcium, that's going to produce more milk. And that's great. But if you notice that your cow is looking a little bit thin, just like a person, she needs carbs. So if they're not grass only, hay only, give her some grain. For us, we do a non-GMO grain dairy ration. And there's a bunch of formulas out there for how much grain per gallon of milk that she's giving. The grain, like the corn, the beet pulp, sweet feed, stuff like that, that's going to put fat on her bones. And going into winter here in Michigan, we really want our cows to have a good amount of fat on them, just to sustain them through the winter. Now, there is such a thing as too much weight on a cow, and then she can't get pregnant, and then she can't ever get pregnant. There's a lot of research on that. We are blessed that all 3 of our fat cows are happily pregnant. 2 of them are Jerseys, 100% Jerseys, and they're heifers, so this is their first time getting pregnant. But it is something that we have to watch. We have to watch their body condition. But their coats, their winter coats, are nice and silky and healthy and just beautiful, soft coats. Those are good signs that your cow is healthy. If her coat looks mangy, just rough, not shiny, you need to look at minerals. Give her loose minerals, good loose minerals. You won't regret spending the money on loose minerals. So alfalfa. We give our cows in milk that we're milking, we give them alfalfa. Cows that are getting close to having a calf, they should not have rich feed. The reason for that, I didn't really understand it completely, and I don't still understand it very well. But the reason is if the cows are getting the calcium they need from their feed, then they're not going to draw it from their body to give to their calf. Well, calving, just like for people, is such a traumatic event for a cow that it does draw on her body for calcium for her calf. That's quite a shock to her system when she's all of a sudden producing milk and she's drawing that from her body. That can cause such a shock to her system one of the reasons that they say poor quality hay 2 months prior to calving. That gets the cow into the routine of already drawing in small amounts the calcium that they need from their body, so that when they calve, and now they've got to pull milk for their calf from their body, it's not quite so much of a shock. There's also such a thing as milking them out completely, forcing their bodies to produce more milk than they're ready for. That can throw them into ketosis. Those are words to research for yourself. But just talking about hay, poor quality hay 2 months prior to calving. As soon as they calve, start up with the good stuff so that you can start supplementing their systems, replenishing their systems. Don't overwhelm, don't shock. If you're going to do the alfalfa, a flake of hay, which is just like, you'll notice a square bale has little sections in it. That's a flake. So a flake of alfalfa hay, couple times a day, and just see how she's doing. The calf isn't going to need 3 gallons of milk at first. Her bag is going to look like she's got 5 gallons in there. That's just swelling. And that does not signal that she's got a ton of milk in there. It'll look like it. So if you go to milk your cow and she's only giving you a quart of this golden stuff, that's colostrum. If you get a quart, you're doing really good. That's for the calf. But, you know, that's about what she's going to give. Her milk production will increase to plateau right about 8 weeks post-calving. And that's about where you're going to start to see her maximum production, because her production is going to be based on her calf's needs. As her production goes up, you need to make sure that you are supplementing her. How is her body condition looking as she's increasing her milk supply? Is she looking thin? About 4 months post-calving, that's going to be where she's going to look about as gaunt and thin as she's going to look. By 4 months, she should also be bred again, pregnant again. So that's going to be about as tough on her body as she's going to go through. So these are just some things to be thinking about. The alfalfa is to increase milk production, increase protein, and calcium. Clover is similar. Don't do that 2 months before calving. Poor quality hay 2 months before calving. Don't be milking her 2 months before calving. Let her dry off so that her body can start making the colostrum for her baby due in a couple of months. We're working on getting Valentine to dry off before too long. And then better quality hay if they're pregnant. You don't want your calves to be huge, so don't feed your pregnant mamas so much food and so much carbs and sweet feed that their calves end up being really huge, and then that's dangerous for the mama. We've got 2 Jersey heifers that are having their first calves, so we need to be very careful that they're not so super fat that their calves end up being really big. Okay, so I have no idea what the condition of this hay is going to look like when we get home. I hope it's okay. We'll see. But I just wanted to discuss a little bit about the types of hay that is out there for cows, and mostly just because I see this on Facebook all the time. And you know, if you're thinking about getting a cow, read everything. If you don't know what a word means, study it. Cows are expensive. They're not cheap. You don't go and get a cow because it's cheap. I used to think that, oh, I'll never have to buy milk again. This will be so much cheaper. Nothing could be further from the truth. we have cows because of the quality of food they're giving us in butter, in yogurt, in milk, and eventually in beef. So that's why we have cows. It is not because it's cheaper. It is not. So be prepared for the expenses. A couple of the expenses are, hay. It's expensive. Plan on more than what you think you're going to need. So I figure in a year's time, I'm going to go through between 70 and 90 bales in a year. I have 6 cows right now. 3 of them are going to be having calves in the spring, and the other one will have her calf late fall, early winter. And their pasture is just a 1-acre field. It's not very big, so I have to feed hay year round. That gets very expensive. Now maybe it isn't so expensive if you've got a ton of land and you can do your own hay, and you can rotate their pasture from April through November. That's great. I can't. So take a look at your own situation, and you can do cows on a small amount of land. You can. I wouldn't recommend a Holstein, and I wouldn't recommend a full-size Jersey. I would recommend a small Jersey or a Dexter. They don't eat a lot, but you're also not going to be getting any 12 gallons of milk from them every day either. So there's a little bit of give and take. So yeah, cows are expensive. You have veterinary bills. I see this on Facebook too. People don't want to spend the money for a vet, so they'll go ask the opinions of people on Facebook. Get yourself lined up with a vet that will come to your farm to check on your animals. Give them a call. Discuss with them, hey, I want to get some cows. Can I become a client? And what do you recommend? Just get in good with a local vet who's willing to help you through your learning phase. We've been very blessed to have somebody like that. He came out on an emergency a year ago, just over a year ago, when our cow Alice became toxemic, and he saved her life. And it cost us a lot of money, but I felt like with what we were doing, that was to be expected. Right, so we're gonna get home, get this unloaded, and take a look at what the condition of the hay is like, and then I gotta go back and get 3 more bales. So okay. Just going to take some of this hay that we've got here. This is the plastic stuff. It looks like a lot of water has collected underneath. Smells good and sweet. Seeing a little bit of leaf in here, which is good. We want leaf, not as much stem. Yeah, I need your help because we gotta stack this right where that blue bucket is. If you could start clearing that off, I'd appreciate it. No, everything around that area.
Time.
Right, I understand that. That's fine.
I've already kind of decided on how I'm going to stack them.
By the wall there.
Okay, but we're not stacking them up on top of
We
each
can't stack them
other.
on top of each other. I'm just talking about stacking them side to side.
Okay. Yeah,
That way I can get at them.
Yep, we want to make it convenient to access. Hazel, look out, babe. Good girl. Good girl. Move out of the way, baby. Good girl. I'm coming. So we got a ton of stuff that we're trying to get done. Got to get the hay done because the animals do come first. But I really want to get my yard cleaned up beautiful. Yeah, like that's going to happen anytime soon. But we're also trying to get some stuff done on the inside of the house too. So it's just a lot going on. Joshua, that blue bucket needs to be moved. The soccer ball. Do you need help? Okay, guess he doesn't.
Not quite as heavy as we thought they were. Maybe 750.
Well, the plastic probably helps them move better too.
It does. It doesn't give me a very good grip, but
Yeah.
get out of it now.
Okay. Bale spear. A bale spear, very important to have. We've done round bales without a bale spear. It's really hard. What? That was our bowl. What is your problem? Huh? He thinks they're hungry.